Hey everyone, Kenny Tony coming at you today with this quick video. So, we're going to finish up the teardown of the YFZ450 hybrid Wr450 motor. Last video, we got the covers taken off, sandblasted, and ready for some powder coat. So today we're going to just go ahead and dig back in, see what we can get done on it, and see if I can keep you at around 10 minutes. Thanks for checking out this channel. Thank you for supporting the channel. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We'll leave everything as it is, and we're going to go ahead and get these head bolts off. 1, 2, here as you see on the sides, and 3 and 4. See if we can get that to come right up off of there with no problems. No problems is the key. So we got all 4 broke loose with the breaker bar. Gonna go ahead and get them out. Not sure if that's... So, don't pry, don't pull. These 2 are out. Here. This one's out. 2 inners. The inner ones are a little longer, so be mindful of that. And on this side here, we have this bolt that will come out in these 2. Looks like they're probably about 10s or 12s. Gotta get those out real quick. Put them a little bit of leverage on there. Felt the pressure release right there on that. Heads off. Might clean it up a little bit before I get it back on there. So cylinder works 21001. Not really sure what that means. However, let's find this oil leak. Why do we have an oil leak? Everything looks. So the gasket looks good, but I got this small washer on here. I'm gonna put one a little bit thicker on there, see if I can get a better seal. Maybe it's leaking there. And besides that, I don't really see any issues with it. So we'll get the new gasket up here, go from there. So here's the new gasket. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna actually put it on here with the other gasket, get a little bit thicker space altogether, I would assume. Because I don't know what gasket this one is. Maybe the tolerance just isn't as quite as thick. It should be a little bit thicker, maybe. So 2 of them wouldn't hurt. So when I do my rings, I typically follow the same instructions that Wiseco gives you. With this being the exhaust side, the upper ring end gap is on here, second ring end gap here. When it comes down to the oil expansion rings, the lower one is 45 degrees between here. The upper one is 45 degrees there, and the expansion ring is perpendicular. So upper, lower, well, upper ring, second ring, lower oil ring, upper oil ring, oil expansion ring is what I typically use. So we do have it all back there. So the bottom of the cylinder is also beveled. There's a little bevel. So we're going to see if we can just subtly squeeze the rings together and slide this on down there and get it back on. Some people do buy a tool. I don't have one. Okay, so I showed you how to take everything apart. Putting it back together was just in reverse. After I got the cylinder on, I slid the head on with no problem. And then the bolts went back in. I torqued them all down, these 4 down to 20 foot-pounds per the manual. These case bolts are typically at about 8, so I did those. Same for here. I loosened up the cam chain tensioner because it's going to have to go in when I put the cam chains back on. And I went ahead and put this oil line back on. But for the most part, this is the end process with this. And we're going to go ahead and get our case covers completely done so we can get this motor completely back together. So all the powder coating is done. As you see, we did black with the same sparkle that I have on the green frame. That's the green there. I'm going to get this all reassembled and put back on here. I was going to originally do white, but the white wouldn't take. I had to do green first, and then to cover the letters on the other side of the case. And then it just kept bleeding through, so I just went ahead and changed them all to do black gloss. So yeah, this one's white, and that one's almost like a greenish tinge to it. So here we are. Just making sure that fits. I'm gonna set those there. Get all the goodies back into this case here. I'm just spraying out real quick. Get that grime out of there. Okay. So we're gonna get the stator back in there. The pickup coil for it back in as well, and the wire is reran. So I know a lot has happened. We have the stator side cover back on. We have the clutch cover back on. We have the chains back in, the cam chains, exhaust and intake chains back on. We did take the cam chain tensioner back out because we're going to make sure we have the timing correct. So if you line up this hole, if you take these two off and you use, I think, a 14 millimeter and turn this over, the single dash is lined up with this mark here. Once that is lined up, you will see that you have 2 dots. 1, 2. These ones need to be in the air. One's in the air. So if you have it lined up and you don't see one in the air, it's lined up wrong. So you level one of them with here, having this one up. On the exhaust side, you level this one here. There's no tension on the chain yet, but and this one up. So now we have it all at top dead center. We have our cams lined up, and we are going to button up this motor. All right, everyone, so we're going to get this video completely wrapped up. This is all that we've gotten done to the Wr450 motor. We really didn't do anything. The basic thing what we wanted to do was replace this gasket. So I put a second gasket on here to make the tolerance a little thicker. Maybe hopefully we'll get a better squeeze and no leak on there. But if we do, we'll figure that out when it comes. I did sandblast all of my cases, all my covers. I did them white at first, and it just didn't take well. It just didn't take well. So I blasted them all back off, did them black, did the windows here green. On the other side, we did the same thing. On the other side, we have the case voice inside. It's got a glittery black on it. But overall, it's gonna look real good. All of this has given the motor a nice fresh look while sitting in there. So the cases look great. So the stator cover looks great with the green little accent on there. The valve covers look amazing. And so does the clutch basket cover. The soda blasting did great. Cleaned up the motor outside real well. I did take the hoses off that go to the Wr450. This one goes straight up here. And this one, there's another one that goes down here. What I'm going to do is see if the ones from the 450 will swap directly on there. And see how that's going to go for us. I put new chromoly studs in here. No need to just be working with the ones that are already beat up. Let's just see what the new ones look like. And I'm already thinking the exhaust is going to line up well. So here's the exhaust pipe. It looks like it's going to fit in there where it should. But that's going to be a whole nother video. But this one wraps this one completely up. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe.